Hey everybody, this is Susan and we are going to make a heart-shaped pillow today, a no-sew heart-shaped pillow. So let me tell you a little bit about what's in your kit and what we need to do to put this together. You'll have two pieces of fabric. One will be the front of the pillow and the other will be the back. And these are both approximately 12 by 12 inches square. And you can put those together and keep them together and cut them both at the same time when we get started with that. You'll also have a pattern and some batting, which I don't have in front of me right now. The first thing we're going to do is take some everyday kitchen scissors and cut out the outside of the big heart, okay? So we're just going to cut out the pattern on the big heart. And this doesn't have to be super perfect or anything. I just drew this heart by hand. So if you want to draw your own shape of heart, you can do that too. Then we're going to take this heart and put it on our fabric and trace it. You can either trace it or you can pin it down and cut out, but what we want to do is cut out the fabric on the big heart outline. So let's just go ahead, and at this point I'm going to switch to some fabric scissors. It makes a big difference if you have those. It makes it a lot easier to cut the fabric. If you don't have them, a good sharp pair of scissors should also work. So we're going to just cut this out, and again, it doesn't have to be super perfect. Just a basic heart shape outline. And we're cutting both pieces of fabric at the same time so that they are equal in size and shape. Okay. Now the next thing we want to do is cut out the smaller heart. So I'm going to take my everyday scissors again. If you have fabric scissors, you know you don't want to cut paper with those. It'll just dull your scissors. So we'll quickly cut out this shape, and this will make our second pattern. And we're going to take this one, and we aren't going to cut the fabric out again. We're going to just trace this. So get it approximately centered so that your margins or your border all the way around is about the same. And then I'm just going to take an ink pen. You could use a pencil and try and trace a line. Make sure this pen is going. Trace a line, an outline here. And I don't know if there's a front or a back side to this fabric, but if you're concerned about the line showing, you can flip it over after the cutting part is done, but I think that makes it harder. So now you can see I have my heart outline. So the next step is to take the fabric scissors again and cut 1/2-inch strips all the way around from the outside up to that line that we just traced, the inner line. Now at the bottom, don't cut a straight line right up to the bottom. Cut a line that's a little bit on each side of the tip, like so. And you'll see, of course, this is not a 1/2-inch wide, but it's more like a 1/2-inch wide at the line. So as you go around the corner, you know, the curves of the heart, just keep in mind that you want about a 1/2-inch space at the line, not at the outer edge. So we're just going to cut up to that line and go all the way around. Again, it's not going to need to be perfect. No one is going to say to you, oh, every piece of your fringe isn't exactly the same. So keep doing that as you go around. And again, when you get to this point, the opposite side, make sure you cut your line. You can just go ahead and do that now. A little bit on either side of that indent right there. And then just make sure this comes around and lines up pretty closely to a 1/2 inch all the way around. So I'm going to continue cutting this and come back when I've gotten it all trimmed all the way around. Okay, at this point I have all the fringes cut all the way around the heart shape, and if you wanted to avoid seeing any of this line, you could flip the both sides back and put them back to back, but it's going to be really hard to line up the fringes exactly when you do that, and I don't think the line will be that noticeable. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to start at the bottom of my heart and work my way around, and then I'm going to stop when I have about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 of these strips so that I can stuff the batting in there. So I'm going to tie knots all the way around except for the last 7 or 8 spots. And by tying a knot, I don't mean actual knot, I just mean I'm going to crisscross and loop it through and then I'm going to tug both sides so that they're facing out. So I'm not going to leave it like that, open like that. I'm going to tug them both so they're down. It doesn't have to be super tight, just snug it right up to that line and then move on to the next one. Try to be very careful about matching up each of the 2 fringes so that they're matching in size and shape. And then give them a pull this way. And keep on going around until you get to the other side, leaving a little gap. And we'll be back for the next step. Okay, I'm back from tying all the knots all the way around the edges, and it's time to put the filling in. And this is, we're just using polyfill, premium polyester fiber fill. And a couple of handfuls is all you need. So we'll grab 1 handful and put it in on the far side of the pillow. And then the other handful will go on the other half. So it looks about like that. And I'll finish tying off the knots to close that up. And now I've finished tying all the knots and my pillow is pretty much done. The final step you might want to do is to take a look and just go around the pillow and make sure that you don't find any missing spots or gaps or holes in your work. And then I did notice that at the top of the heart, there is a section or 2 where you can see through to the fiber filling. And so I double checked and made sure that I had tied everything, and I have. So what I'm going to do to fix this is I'm going to take 1 tie from the left and 1 from the right and tie those again, kind of crossing over that area. And then this is another spot that has a little hole open. Even though I did tie all the ties, we're going to close that up by just taking the nearest strips to that and crossing over and tying those shut. So then one final step you may want to do, I noticed that at the bottom of the heart where we had made our first cut, that the sections are pretty wide, and I did make a snip right up there. But if you want to do any final trimming, these are a little bit unusually shaped. You can just narrow those down so that they look more like the rest of them. And if you feel like you need to give it a haircut, nobody will ever know. So I'm going to do that with this point too. I think I'll give this a little trim on this side just so it looks more uniform and like all the others. So with that done, your pillow is done and it's ready to give as a gift for Valentine's Day. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you have good luck making your pillows. Bye.